Down in the post. Goes to work.
Quick spin.
Drives it
Big
home.
Steven Adams.
Adams has been on one this preseason.
Yes, he has. You heard what he said, huh, Rachel?
What?
We owe it to the fans. We're going to come out here and compete every night. Look, Big Steve. Buckets. That's my protege right there.
I was going to say, is he as fun to play with as it looks?
Hold on. What's going on?
Oh, look who
The finish is my favorite part.
Take the contact. Look, Big Steve.
Yeah.
Big Kiwi.
Look. And boom. Is he as fun to play with as it seems like?
Yes, he is.
I just feel like the buses and team meals and everything would be
Good for him, man. Always one of my favorite centers.
I love it.
That's
All right.
shades of Diesel right there. That's the baseline and done.
Let's
Shades.
We love Steven Adams. Hold it back. Miss Logic, staying in OKC.
Yeah.
Check out the finish. Utah Watanabe.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Utah, as our producer Andrew likes to call him. Perk, could you have pulled this off?
Absolutely not, Rachel. Absolutely not. But man, that was impressive right there. Probably in my high school days, but
you had
a little finesse going on, But man,
who came up with that topic bar down there? Come on.
Y'all ain't right,
He's
man.
an NBA player.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
Damn straight. Boom.
Right.
There was a Japanese player before Rui Hachimura. Just remember that.
Make tenacity. DeJounte Murray is back healthy.
Yes.
Y'all watch this sequence versus the Rockets last night. So first he's locking up James Harden, right? Not easy to do.
Stay with him.
Woo.
Nice.
Yep.
That's work. He is doing
Verticality.
his job.
it was work.
And then, just,
Go ahead. Bring it up.
I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep
Push it. Yep.
Bye-bye. Easy layup.
Nice.
Where's the help? Where's the help at?
What's that track that just ran me?
Happy for the kid, man.
I was going to say, the fact that he is healthy this year, if he can stay healthy, it's going to change the Spurs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's one of the reasons I think they're a playoff team. Because they were a playoff team without him a year ago, and you got him.
Again.
They're better.
Make vision. Whew. Last night, I know you were in the building.
Yeah.
LeBron out there and running. Now he gets caught up. He flips it behind his head to an open Danny Green, right?
Yep.
This pass very similar to the Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash.
Yeah.
By the way, Vince Carter had one of these too. When I was going through Vince Carter clips this morning, he had one.
The first one I thought about was the Steve one that we're going to show to Grant Hill in the corner, right there. There you go, left corner. Whoop, whoop.
The crazy thing is that all those passes was on point, right?
Yep.
Shooter didn't have to move. That's incredible.
They pass it better than some dudes pass you a chest pass.
Right.
Something you get up here.
I didn't expect that out of IT, but man.
Kendrick, to get a LeBron James pass, you have been on the other end of it. Can you even overstate how precise he is and just how much it always comes exactly where you want it?
Absolutely not. I mean, look, Danny Green had to make that shot, the way he put him in position.
There was a lot of, everyone in the crowd, you better make this.
It's time to run it back with LeBron's best ever no-look dimes. Here he goes to Zizic. This is just last year, 2018, right? Two seasons ago.
Oh, my
Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking. I'm not seeing anything.
That's
I'm just over here.
Hand size made that one
Thank
happen.
you.
Oh.
Also in 2018, and you could tell this was the beginning of the season because it was LeBron to D-Wade.
Oh,
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, I think,
court
right?
awareness, man.
Boom.
Crazy.
And then
Credit.
the delivery.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And then
Like he knows he's there is one thing, but also he got it right on point.
exactly where he needed it. 2011, Eric Dampier.
Now that can't be one.
Wait, why?
The one to Wade was better.
That's the Wade one was my favorite one. But you and I are not the arbiters of this. Producer Bob Murray is the arbiter of this. This is his decision, and I do what he says. That's what the show works. I did like the Wade one. Anyway, let's talk about Bradley Beal because he is a richer man than he was this morning. He has agreed to a 2-year, $71.8 million extension. The second year is a player option, but it will keep him out of free agency for 3 more seasons. This is also key. Beal cannot now be traded until the end of this upcoming season. So there's a lot of teams around the league. This did not just affect the Wizards today. I can think of 6 teams that wanted him in February that this will affect. Now, assuming Beal declines his player option, which the reason that's built in for him to do is that he would have reached 10 years of service, right? So he could then re-sign with Washington and would be eligible at that time to sign the largest contract in NBA history, 5 years, for a projected $266 million. So would you say this was a better deal for Bradley Beal or for the Wizards?
I think for both. I think if you're the Wizards, First of all, you got him locked in. He wants to be here. That's the biggest thing. It's like, hey, we offered him this contract. He said, I'll take it. That's a huge kind of vote of confidence for them in this rebuild process, that they know that their star player isn't saying, hey, I need to get out of here. I want to be somewhere else. But we also know people's minds can change. So what this does is, in a year, Bradley Beal's like, look, this isn't going the way I thought it would. Ted Leonsis, the managing partners, told me things were going to happen. They didn't happen. I want to get traded. They've got cost certainty on the books. So now the other teams that are interested in them are not saying, well, I'm not going to give up all that stuff for a guy who could leave in a year. They've got some cost certainty there. And then from the Bradley Beal perspective, I'm going to leave it to Perk, because Perk said it to us yesterday. What'd your grandpa say?
Hey, I always take the for sure instead of some more, baby.
That's what he did, right?
I think, listen, I'm with you. Both sides won on this. You know, this is an annual number for an all-star shooting guard, and it's well-deserved by Bradley Beal. It shows commitment both ways. And Washington, one thing about their organization and their ownership, they never hesitated to pay players when they deserve to get paid. And I think it works, like Amin said, it works in favor for both with the number of years, because if things are not going well, then, hey, Bradley could say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this rebuilding situation. And for us, the team side, if it don't work well, then it's not a hard contract to trade.
Yeah, and look, he can be traded this summer. He just can't be traded in February, right? So it just changes the calendar on that. And as I said, it affects, I think, a lot of teams around the league and the trade market, but he does want to be there. I've talked to him several times over the last couple months about this. And look, there are people who've been like, dude, you're not going to reach the playoffs anytime soon. It's rebuilding. John Wall's hurt, all of this. And what I like is what I talked about at the top of the show with Vince Carter. It's not one size fits all for NBA players, right? So it's not like, oh, they all need to go chase a ring. They all need to do what Anthony Davis did, who felt like, hey, I really want to be somewhere else. I've given this a try. He has decided, I'd like to be the guy on a team that wants me and that I feel comfortable with. And so he went and did that, as opposed to did what everyone else told him to do or what might be right for someone else. I think that's what we want to see of more people. It will lead to more happiness.
Can we do some quick foreshadowing? Because I want to point out, Kendrick made a great point. Players notice when a team takes care of its free agent. Wall, Otto Porter before that. So Washington, even though you say, oh, well, you're not going anywhere, this is a big moment for them as a infomercial for the rest of the league. There's another team we're going to talk about, I feel, in the next block that's going through its own extension issues that is dealing with the opposite. So,
But much credit to Bradley Beal family, too, man, because they raised a great young kid.
And by the way, he has been so good in the community.
Absolutely.
It is a win for all of Washington, which, by the way, Washington sports are having a very good week. Coming up, Amin mentioned this. Buddy Hield is not happy with the extension offer the Kings have presented and said if they don't pay him what he wants, another team will. Is that BS or real talk? Is that as the Kings turn? Stick around, we'll find out.